The WAFB Podcast Network is sponsored by Neighbors Federal Credit Union.
Hey, good morning, Jacques. How are you?
I'm doing outstanding. I'm talking to Garth Brooks.
Entering his second year as the LSU head football coach.
It was the only way I could get a foot in the door.
Joined by the icon, Kim Mulkey. Hey, Coach, great to see you.
Jacques Talk is sponsored by Cork's Cajun Fried Fish and Shrimp and Couillon's Cajun Barbecue.
All right, we're in the LSU practice facility with one of the Tigers' newcomers this season. It's Jersey Wolfenbarger. Jersey, thanks for taking time to chat with us today.
Thank you for having me.
How did this all come about? You played 2 years at Arkansas. You're an Arkansas native. You grew up there, so you stay close to home, and now you're playing for Coach Kim Mulkey.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me was I wanted somewhere that would help spark my development as an athlete, as a person, as a student. I did want to stay close to home, but after talking with my family and really taking into consideration okay, what's the best opportunity presenting itself that is going to help me, kind of get to that next level. And when Coach Kim Mulkey called, I knew I had to take it.
Yeah. What was her message to you, or what sold you on it?
Just her honesty. She called me and she's like, hey, do you want to be pushed? Do you want to be challenged? Do you want to do hard things? And I think hearing that after going through kind of the journey that I went through coming out of high school, I was like, yeah, that's exactly what I want. That's what I need in this point in my life. So it was kind of a no-brainer. Yeah, I wanted to be challenged. I wanted to be pushed, and she's really good at it.
You weren't able to transfer and play last season. You kind of lost that year, right? Or you didn't lose it, but you had to sit out. Couldn't play. What was that like for you?
I think more than anything, it was very reflective. I had to sit there with myself and be like, okay, is this what I want my future to look like? Is this what I'm still chasing? Are these still my dreams? That year to kind of just get to take the time, be with my family, be with myself, understand, what is Jersey looking to get out of this whole experience? I think really projected me into how I play at LSU is it's constantly hungry, it's constantly pushing, it's constantly trying to be better than I was before, because it is my second chance opportunity. Not very many people get to play for a coach like Coach Mulkey and her staff.
So you're going to class and everything at Arkansas, but you're not playing. Are you getting up in the morning? Are you staying in condition, or what were you doing?
Yeah, I had class just like normal. It's different having to make your own schedule than having people to help you with that. But
harder to structure yourself, right?
I moved back in with my family during that time just to kind of make sure that everything kept moving smoothly. They also pushed me. That's kind of what became my standard for what I was looking for to play at next. But they made sure that I was up and at it. My classes were scheduled. I had a routine, so I'd go to class, I'd finish my day at school, and then I'd go to the gym and I'd work out just like normal, trying to stay in that, what practice would look like in the future. A lot of schools, I feel do kind of practice midday is very, very typical. And so I try to keep that schedule, so when I did transition to my next school, it wasn't anything new or okay, I've been on my own for a year, now I'm having to be more structured, more mandated, and it wasn't any different.
As we're sitting here, you're undefeated. One of those victories was at Arkansas. You had a strong performance in that game. What was that experience like when you see Arkansas on the other side and you're scoring points and getting rebounds against them?
Yeah, I think that was super surreal. I had a lot of people ask me about that after the game, oh my gosh, were you nervous? Were you feeling? What were you feeling? It was really good. My whole family got to come. A lot of them won't be able to make it down to some LSU games because it's 8 hours different. So it was really good to see them. But more than anything, it was super strange walking in through the tunnel and wearing a different jersey than being announced and coming out into that court. I think more than anything was that excitement to come back home into my home crowd, but be on a team that I feel I'm also really proud to be part of. It gave me a sense of strength to have Coach Mulkey having my back, the team having my back. I think there's always that rivalry when a player transfers. It's never bad, and I think that it was really, really cool to have not only my home crowd and my fans and my family, but also have my team.
And goofy people like me and other people, there's so many things you can do with that. Hungry like the Wolfenbarger. Who's afraid of the big bad Wolfenbarger? and the like you said, the PA guy here at LSU. Every time you score, there's a with oh. Yes. That's been fun for you
It has been. It's still been an interesting play off my last name. I thought our practice squad came in one game, our dream team, and they were like, okay, we're gonna start howling when you get in or when you have a rebound or whatever. And I'm like, oh, it's not gonna take off, whatever. And like by the third game, everybody started doing it. So I think now it's just kind of stuck.
Yeah. Well, it separates you, right?
Yes, sir.
So this team, we know that Flage in her third year is really coming to her own. Michaela Williams, super sophomore. Anissa can play down low. She can play outside. So really there's this opportunity in the post, right? And this kind of coach is talking about, I still don't really have my starter in the post yet. There's still competition there. So what are you looking to provide here moving forward in that role?
I think my role on this team is to run fast in transition, obviously defense. I feel like that's something that when I commit to, I'm very strong at, and definitely rebounding. I think there's a couple things that I feel very strongly about my game that I can provide with this team, and I think just staying disciplined and staying consistent with that is kind of what Coach Mulkey's looking for.
Right. I mean, everyone knows who Angel Reese is, right? And so you have to be Jersey Wolfenbarger and not Angel Reese. But how do you deal with that where it's like, okay, that's who was here last year, and now we're trying to, not replace her, but move on?
Yeah, I think she had a great game. I think she had a great career at LSU. Honestly, our play styles are too different, but I think I look to her and her play as guidance. Like, okay, this is the effort level that I need to play at consistently. This is how competitive I have to be every day. It's not just a game-by-game type of thing. It's an everyday lifestyle. I think that's something that she's kind of challenged me with, just watching her perform and watching her play. But, yeah, we have two different styles, and we have different strengths. But watching how hard she plays, I think is something that I like and I chase after.
So, in football we have like running back by committee sometimes and stuff like that. So I guess post by committee, yourself, Samaya, the others, you're playing off Anissa there as well, and Lily, right?
Yes.
Leah Del Rosario as well. So is that kind of the way you guys are approaching this at the moment? We'll do this collectively?
Yeah, I think we all provide different strengths and different levels of competition, and I think it's going to be dependent on what the team needs out of each player during that circumstance. Just staying true to ourselves, staying true to our effort in our game is kind of what makes us different than a lot of teams. We do have the depth this year. Yeah. And I think, like Coach Mulkey said, it's always going to be competitive. I don't think anything's really like set in stone yet, but I like that. I like being pushed. I like being challenged. I think that competitive edge makes you stay hungry and stay on top of your stuff. So. Yeah, Coach Mulkey plays to win. I don't think anything's ever solidified. Like, you have to constantly work to prove yourself and prove your game, and that's not a bad thing. That's definitely a challenge, and she's a challenging coach to play for, but I love it.
You're tall. You're 6'5". You're lean. So you've played on the outside and perimeter. Now you're on the inside. And so what's it like when you're, banging down low and trying to get rebounds and play in the post?
I think when I played more on the perimeter growing up, I definitely took for granted how hard the post game was. And then now that I'm in it, I'm like, okay, yeah, it's a different monster that you have to face every game. Like, you do have to be tough in every aspect, not just physically, but mentally. Like, you have to be ready to go at all times. And I've also learned that when stuff does start to arise and there's that adversity you have to face, like, you kind of have to be the silent but like very commanding factor of the team. Like, okay, if I provide this type of strength, then maybe the team will feed off of me.
Just collectively, this team right now, you're undefeated. You've beaten some good teams, but you've got some monsters around the corner. You're going to Tennessee this week, a team that's ranked in the top 20 and going to have a huge crowd.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I think our record really truly means nothing to the team because it is just a game-by-game thing. Like, we have to win the next one, we have to win the next one, we have to compete the next one. I think that kind of ignoring that and seeing ourselves like, what can we improve on and not just what is our record is really what makes this team special.
Because when the rankings come out every week, it doesn't really matter a whole lot, does it?
No, it's a new team. We haven't won a national championship yet, so that's kind of what's driving us, is like, we're a whole different team with whole different players with whole different sets of standards. So this year, it technically it's our year to try to prove people like, okay, we are a strong program, we are elite of the elite, and I think that, like you said, like the record, the rankings, none of that means anything if you don't work and you show up every day to be driven and disciplined.
One of the young ladies that transferred in with you is Kaylin Gilbert, and here at the PMAC on Sunday, she really just kind of changed the whole complexion of the game, the crowd, the energy, the way she came in was a spark plug. What does she bring to the game?
Just like you said, she is our spark plug. Like, you know what you're going to get from KG, and she comes in every game confident and ready, and it's kind of amazing to watch. Like, you just get to cheer her on, and then you're like, okay, I'm your teammate too. You're like, we got to keep going. But yeah, she provides such a strong spark for our team in every moment that we need it. She's very consistent with that.
There was a gymnastics press conference yesterday, so we came to the PMAC early, and I saw Flage shooting with Simone Augustus, and they've got this equipment, this big machine where the net comes up, forces you to shoot it with an arc.
Yeah.
And I think she made like 15 or 20 in a row. Just watching her, coaches always talked about a work ethic. She gets up at 5 in the morning. She has a music career, a basketball career. Tell me about Flage. What's it been like to be her teammate?
It's also been super impressive to watch. Like, I've known players that work really hard on the court. You know, I've known players that work really hard on the court and in the classroom. But to be able to watch somebody juggle a career that is only being elevated by her game and stay on top of being a student athlete, like, that's super impressive. And I think I feel very honored to be a teammate, like, just to get to learn from her and get to watch her grow and kind of lead our team. One thing you can always count on her is her work ethic. Like, you know, when she shows up, like, she's showing up with a purpose, ready to work and ready to challenge everybody around her.
And Michaela, you know, she was so great so early. It's almost like, wow, you know, she's almost a sophomore, and she's a sophomore, and we forget how young she is. But she's going to go down probably as one of the best players that ever played here when she's done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is kind of crazy to see somebody so young be so successful. But I think it's just a testament to how she works. What mindset she comes into practice with. I think she's just one of those players that is just going to only elevate from here.
And when you see Morrow, like, she's undersized, she does a little bit of everything. Her anticipation on defense, stealing the ball, shooting from the outside, shooting from the inside. How would you describe the way that she plays down low, and how do you play off each other?
I think Anissa's just a dog. I think she's just consistently attacking all the time. And she definitely pushes all of us around her. I think she makes us all better every day. And more than anything, just seeing how, like, tenaciously she goes after stuff. That's super motivating as a player. Like, you can't not match her effort, or at least try to, because I feel like her effort is unmatched, truly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love playing off of Nice.
It's got that Chicago toughness.
Yes, for sure.
Attitude. A few more things. Appreciate it. So there's a big staff here as well. That they all have their different responsibilities. But, you know, Coach Starkey's a guy that could have been a head coach and has been an assistant coach pretty much his whole life. What does he bring to you as far as, and how does he impact you? A lot on defense, right?
I think he's just so smart. I've been around a lot of coaches, and I feel like a lot of them have impacted me in several ways, but you never stop growing or learning as a player or as a person when you're around him. And I think being able to take advantage of that genuinely is something I've been trying to do more of, because he is a once-in-a-lifetime type of coach. And even though he is an assistant coach, he leads in his own right, in his own way. And like I said, you never stop growing, and I think that's important to have.
And you've got smooth operator Gary Reedus and Daphne and Coach Rice and the rest of them that all collectively do their job.
Yeah, we have such a strong staff here. Everybody knows their role. Everybody knows what strengths they bring, and I think that seeing that is really reflective on the team. Like, we do that same stuff. So, like I said earlier, Coach Mulkey doesn't expect anything different from us that she does her staff, and I think that is what makes our program as a whole just very connected and on the same page.
All right. What's it been like to be on this campus? You went to the football games in the fall, and how are the students here? You say you like the food?
I love the food here. Yeah, campus here is a different beast. I will say I do like that it's not uphill at all. I've been in places where it's all strictly uphill. It's much easier to get to class. Yeah, the football games are a different breed. I was expecting when I came, several of my teammates were like, no, it's loud, it's a lot, like, it's everywhere. And I'm like, oh, you're lying. Like, there's just going to be like a couple tailgates here, a couple there. It's the whole university. It's collective. But no, I'm excited to be a part of it. I love it here, truly.
Yeah. Well, we went to Fayetteville for the football game this year, and it is a beautiful place, especially in the fall when the leaves change and everything. It's a nice place.
Yeah, it is. That's something I do miss is the fall colors. But recently we started getting fall colors in January, so I'm just as excited to see them.
It was just 2 or 3 months behind.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and the winters, it's cold right now, but maybe you won't miss shoveling snow if you had to do that up there.
Yeah,
And
we
those,
had snow, ice storms, severe winter weathery mix, whatever they like to call it. I'd much rather do like the 70 and like 40 maybe degrees. That's nice.
well, Jersey, it was very nice talking to you.
Nice to meet you too.
Yeah, best of luck to you and the rest of the season.
Thank you, sir.
Go Tigers.
Yes, go Tigers.